Weakness is the one sin the world never forgives. You can be cruel, and men will fear you. You can be cunning, and men will respect you. You can even be unjust, and men will tolerate you. But weakness invites attack from every direction. Machiavelli understood that power belongs only to those who refuse to appear vulnerable. To survive in a ruthless world, you must learn not only how to be strong, but how to become untouchable. The first step is to abandon the illusion that the world will reward kindness or fairness. History is filled with corpses of men who believed virtue would protect them. Kingdoms have been lost by leaders who placed trust where they should have placed suspicion. Nations have fallen because rulers believed loyalty could be bought with mercy. Machiavelli warns us, mercy is forgotten, kindness is abused, and fairness is mistaken for weakness. To stop being weak, you must learn the art of perception. It is not enough to be strong. You must be seen as strong. Men act not according to truth, but according to what they believe. A ruler may be exhausted, bankrupt, and surrounded by enemies, yet if he projects strength, his rivals hesitate. Likewise, a man may possess resources, intelligence, and allies, yet if he projects weakness, vultures circle. Never let your enemies smell blood. This does not mean you must be cruel without cause. Cruelty without purpose destroys, but calculated harshness, deployed at the right moment, cements your power. Better to be feared than loved. Machiavelli tells us, if you cannot be both, love binds weakly. It dissolves when circumstances change. Fear chains tightly. For men fear consequences more than they value affection. To be untouchable, you must cultivate fear, or at least the perception of it. But fear alone is not enough. To rise beyond weakness, you must master control over yourself. The man who cannot master his emotions cannot master anything. Anger makes you reckless. Love makes you blind. Hope makes you foolish. Fear makes you hesitate. He who rules himself rules others. Machiavelli's advice is cold but eternal. Feel nothing. Control everything. The moment you allow others to predict your reactions, they can manipulate you. The untouchable man is a mystery. His silence is dangerous, his words deliberate, his actions precise. To stop being weak, you must also abandon the delusion of fairness in battle. Enemies will not fight you honorably. They will lie, cheat, slander, and betray. If you cling to rules while your enemies break them, you have already lost. Machiavelli warns, those who insist on fighting clean in a dirty world do not survive. If survival demands deception, deceive. If safety demands cruelty, be cruel. Power is not given to the moral but to the cunning. History proves this truth again and again. Caesar crossed the Rubicon not because it was legal, but because it was necessary. The Medici family ruled Florence not through fairness, but through wealth, fear, and manipulation. Modern leaders rise not by honesty, but by mastering perception, alliances, and timing. The weak cling to rules. The strong bend rules. The untouchable write their own. But how does one become untouchable? Strength alone will not suffice. You must build layers of protection around yourself. Reputation, alliances, fear, and mystery. Reputation is the first armor. A strong reputation prevents countless attacks before they begin. Men hesitate to challenge one who is believed to be ruthless or invincible. Build your reputation with deliberate actions. Acts of calculated harshness, acts of brilliance, acts of decisiveness. Once established, your reputation will protect you even when you are vulnerable. Alliances form the second armor, but alliances must not be trusted blindly. Allies are loyal only when it benefits them. The untouchable man never depends fully on any one ally. He uses alliances as tools, discarding them when they become threats. He keeps them divided so none grows too powerful. He offers favors strategically, so all remain in his debt. Weak men beg for loyalty. Strong men purchase it. Untouchable men manipulate it. Fear is the third armor. It does not mean terrorizing everyone. It means ensuring that betrayal always carries consequences. If men can betray you without cost, they will. If betrayal means ruin, they hesitate. The untouchable ruler does not punish all offenses equally. He punishes betrayal with ruthless swiftness. Let others see what happens when loyalty breaks. One public punishment prevents 100 secret betrayals. Mystery is the fourth armor. Weak men are predictable. Strong men are respected. But untouchable men are feared because they are unknown. When no one can anticipate your next move, they hesitate to strike. Reveal only what you must. Speak less than you think. Let rumors surround you, for rumors make you larger than life. A man who is completely known can be destroyed. A man shrouded in mystery cannot be fully attacked. Yet being untouchable is not only about defense, it is also about offense. Weakness invites attack, but strength invites challenge. To rise above both, you must strike first. Do not wait for enemies to surround you. Identify threats early and crush them before they grow. Weak rulers ignore small dangers until they become great. Untouchable rulers eliminate them quietly, efficiently, before they are visible. Better to be feared for decisive cruelty than destroyed by merciful hesitation. Machiavelli understood the greatest trap of weakness: dependency. To depend too much on others, whether allies, wealth, or luck, is to place your survival in hands you cannot control. The untouchable man minimizes dependency. He diversifies power, keeps multiple sources of wealth, cultivates many alliances, trains himself to survive even in isolation. He never allows his survival to rest in the hands of another. Finally, to stop being weak, you must cultivate resilience. Life will strike, enemies will betray, plans will fail, but the untouchable man does not crumble. He bends, adapts, and returns stronger. Weakness is not the absence of defeat. It is the inability to rise after defeat. Strength is the ability to rise. Untouchability is the ability to rise so quickly, so ruthlessly, that enemies regret striking you at all. Stop being weak. Stop waiting for the world to reward your goodness. Stop expecting loyalty where there is none. Stop believing rules protect you. Begin to see the world as it is: cruel, competitive, merciless. Only then can you rise above it. To be untouchable is not to be loved, nor even to be feared. It is to be beyond reach. A figure too dangerous to challenge, too mysterious to predict, too resilient to destroy. This is Machiavelli's warning. In a world that devours the weak, you have only two choices: remain prey, waiting for predators to tear you apart, or rise, abandon illusions, and become untouchable. Weakness begins in the mind before it appears in the body or in action. Most men live enslaved, not because they lack strength, but because they lack clarity. They deceive themselves with comforting illusions, with the belief that goodness will shield them, that loyalty will last forever, that honesty will always be rewarded. These illusions are the first chains that must be broken if you wish to stop being weak. Machiavelli's cold wisdom strikes at the heart of this truth. Men are not what they pretend to be. They are selfish, short-sighted, and fickle. They love you when you serve their interests and abandon you when you do not. To expect otherwise is weakness. To anticipate betrayal, disloyalty, and hypocrisy is strength. To prepare for it and still come out ahead, that is what makes you untouchable. Do not confuse cynicism with clarity. A cynic despises men, and therefore isolates himself. An untouchable man sees men for what they are, uses their flaws, and bends their desires to his advantage. He does not hate their selfishness, he harnesses it. He does not weep at their betrayals, he anticipates them. Weakness is disappointment in human nature. Untouchability is mastery of it. Control, therefore, begins with your own illusions. Stop expecting gratitude. Stop expecting fairness. Stop expecting loyalty. The weak are destroyed because they believe life should be what they imagine. The untouchable rise because they see life as it is, and they shape it with ruthless hands. Another foundation of weakness is neediness. A man who constantly seeks approval, attention, or affection exposes his softest points. Once others know what you crave, they can manipulate you endlessly. Machiavelli warns rulers never to depend too much on the love of the people. It fades. It turns, it burns out. Instead, cultivate independence. Be able to stand alone. The untouchable man does not beg for validation. He creates his own value and demands recognition on his terms. This independence extends to every domain of life. Financial independence is obvious, but emotional independence is even more vital. Most men are destroyed not by poverty, but by heartbreak, humiliation, or rejection. Their emotions become their enemies, betraying them in moments of crisis. The untouchable man cannot be broken this way. He feels, but he is never ruled by feelings. He controls his own mind as a general controls an army, strictly, strategically, without mercy for weakness. But untouchability is not only internal, it is external strategy. Machiavelli insists that appearances matter more than reality. Weak men live honestly, exposing their flaws, revealing their mistakes. They believe transparency is strength, when in truth it is vulnerability. To be untouchable, you must master the mask. Never reveal the full truth of your condition. If you are struggling, show confidence. If you are cornered, show menace. If you are broken, show iron. Men believe what they see, not what is. Use this blindness against them. Reputation becomes your shield. A man known to be ruthless is rarely tested. A man known to be cunning is rarely deceived. A man known to be dangerous is rarely challenged. Reputation is more valuable than wealth, for wealth can be stolen, but reputation lingers even in absence. Cultivate it deliberately, destroy it in your enemies, protect it in yourself as if it were life itself. Weakness also reveals itself in hesitation. Indecision is a wound that invites predators. A ruler who cannot act quickly loses the respect of his subjects and the fear of his enemies. An individual who hesitates in conflict becomes a target for those more decisive. Machiavelli praises decisiveness above careful morality. A bold, even ruthless action earns respect. A slow, cautious, hesitant one breeds contempt. Untouchability comes not from perfection, but from decisive imperfection. Better to be wrong and feared than right and ignored. But remember, decisiveness is not recklessness. Weak men swing between extremes, paralyzed one moment, reckless the next. The untouchable man is deliberate, calculating, and precise. He strikes when the odds favor him, withdraws when danger is too great, and always leaves enemies guessing about his next move. He does not act for approval, nor for emotion. He acts for results. To rise above weakness, you must also learn the art of denial, not of truth, but of access. Do not allow everyone access to you. The weak are too available, too eager to please, too quick to answer every call. The untouchable man restricts access. His time is scarce, his presence valuable, his attention a reward. By making yourself rare, you increase your worth. By making yourself common, you invite disrespect. Machiavelli would tell you, distance creates respect. Overfamiliarity breeds contempt. Consider how kings and rulers maintained untouchability. They appeared rarely, but always with spectacle. Their words were few, but always decisive. Their punishments were swift, their rewards scarce. Common men could not imagine them as equals. This distance protected them more than armies did. In your own life, do the same. Stop being weak by being overly available. Stop giving yourself away cheaply. Raise the cost of your attention, and others will value it more than gold. Untouchability also requires the destruction of dependency on luck. Weak men blame misfortune, waiting for better times, hoping the world will hand them opportunity. Strong men create opportunity, but are still vulnerable when luck turns against them. The untouchable man prepares for both fortune and misfortune. He stores resources in abundance, builds networks for times of scarcity, and maintains strength when others collapse. When fortune smiles, he takes more. When fortune turns, he survives. To be untouchable is to be beyond the reach of fortune's cruelty. The ultimate weakness is to be ruled by others' expectations. Society teaches men to conform, to obey, to follow. Weakness is servitude to these invisible chains. The untouchable man writes his own laws, lives by his own standards, and bends others to his rhythm. He is not reckless with rebellion, but strategic. He obeys when it benefits him, defies when it strengthens him, and ignores when it wastes him. To be untouchable is to be sovereign over yourself. Stop being weak. Stop seeking fairness where none exists. Stop exposing wounds to those who will use them against you. Start building armor, reputation, alliances, fear, and mystery. Start mastering yourself, your emotions, your time, your independence. Start acting decisively, even when uncertain, for weakness will always invite predators, but untouchability turns predators into prey. Machiavelli's warning is clear. In a world ruled by wolves, you cannot survive as a sheep. To be untouchable, you must rise above weakness, not by illusion, not by hope, not by kindness, but by clarity, control, and calculated ruthlessness. Only then will you be beyond reach, beyond betrayal, beyond destruction. Power is not taken from the strong. It is taken from the weak who fail to defend it. Every empire, every kingdom, every throne that has fallen did so not because an enemy was stronger, but because the ruler became weak. Weakness is rot. It spreads silently until it consumes you. Machiavelli's harsh reminder is that only those who constantly purge weakness in themselves and in their rule remain untouchable. Weak men try to be liked. Strong men try to be respected. The untouchable man aims for something higher. He aims to be untouchable, beyond both love and hate, feared when necessary, admired when convenient, but never dependent on either. Dependency is the root of weakness. If you need people to like you, they own you. If you need people to praise you, they control you. If you need people to accept you, you will bend to their standards. The untouchable man bends to nothing. He dictates the terms of his existence. Look at history's rulers. Julius Caesar sought love from the Senate, and his need for approval led to daggers in his back. Napoleon needed constant victory to satisfy his image, and when defeat came, it destroyed him. The untouchable man is different. He learns to detach from the opinions of men. He builds himself on foundations that cannot be shaken by applause or criticism. He knows that crowds are fickle, allies are selfish, and enemies are inevitable. His strength is in his independence, his clarity, and his readiness to stand alone when all others abandon him. But being untouchable does not mean being isolated. Isolation itself can be a weakness. Machiavelli warned rulers against becoming too distant, for men who feel excluded grow resentful and plot against you. The balance is delicate. Do not become overly available, but do not vanish entirely. Appear rarely, but when you appear, do so with impact. Withdraw often, but not so much that you are forgotten. Maintain presence without dependency. Appear powerful but never desperate. This balance creates mystery, and mystery is armor. Another mark of weakness is predictability. Weak men live by habits, routines, and patterns that make them easy prey. Their enemies can anticipate their moves, exploit their habits, and trap them with ease. Untouchability demands unpredictability. You must keep people guessing, speak less than expected, act differently than anticipated, change your strategies often, confuse those who seek to study you. Unpredictability is a weapon. It unsettles, it intimidates, it forces others to hesitate. And in hesitation, you win. The weak man seeks comfort, and comfort is his downfall. Comfort makes him soft, predictable, and complacent. Comfort is the breeding ground of weakness. Machiavelli would remind you that rulers must always prepare for war, even in times of peace. Likewise, you must prepare for struggle, even in times of ease. Train your body, sharpen your mind, harden your will, while others celebrate. You must build while others rest. You must prepare when their comfort betrays them. Your preparation will protect you. One of the deepest weaknesses is moral rigidity. Men who cling to morality, who refuse to bend, who believe in universal fairness, are always destroyed by those willing to cross lines. Machiavelli makes it clear. A ruler cannot always act morally if he wishes to survive. The untouchable man must know when to be honest and when to deceive, when to show kindness and when to be cruel, when to forgive and when to destroy. Weakness is believing morality is absolute. Strength is wielding morality as a tool. Untouchability is mastering morality and immorality alike, using whichever serves your purpose. Consider cruelty. The weak man believes cruelty should never be used, and so he hesitates, he spares, he delays. His enemies grow stronger, his authority crumbles, and eventually he is overthrown. The untouchable man understands that cruelty, if used swiftly and decisively, can prevent greater bloodshed. One strike, executed at the right time, can bring lasting peace. One act of ruthlessness can secure loyalty and stability. Untouchability is not about avoiding cruelty. It is about mastering its use so that it serves you, not destroys you. Control of perception is another shield against weakness. Weak men expose their struggles openly, crying out for sympathy, but sympathy is poison. It breeds contempt. People may offer pity, but behind pity lies disrespect. The untouchable man never seeks sympathy. He wears strength even in defeat, composure even in crisis. He may suffer privately, but publicly he radiates control. This illusion of invulnerability discourages enemies and inspires followers. Never forget, the world believes what it sees, not what is. Another weakness is attachment. Men cling to people, possessions, and even identities, and when these are threatened, they crumble. The untouchable man cultivates detachment. He values allies, but is prepared for betrayal. He enjoys wealth, but is ready to lose it. He embraces identities, but never chains himself to them. Detachment is freedom. If nothing owns you, nothing can control you. This does not mean living without bonds, but living without dependence. Love but do not need, possess but do not cling, rule but do not become enslaved by the throne itself. Deception, too, separates the weak from the untouchable. Weak men insist on blunt honesty, believing truth is strength, but truth is often a blade turned against its owner. The untouchable man knows that men cannot handle pure truth. They crave illusions. They hunger for comforting lies. He feeds them illusions while protecting his reality. He says what must be said, not what is. He reveals what strengthens him, not what weakens him. His words are weapons, never confessions. Machiavelli warns us, weak men wait for justice. Untouchable men create their own justice. The weak trust in systems, laws, and authority to protect them. But systems can be corrupted. Laws can be bent. Authority can turn against you. To be untouchable is to recognize that justice belongs to those with power. If you want fairness, you must enforce it. If you want respect, you must command it. If you want safety, you must create it. Finally, understand this. Weakness is contagious. Surround yourself with weak men, and you will become weak. Their fears will infect you. Their excuses will poison you. Their mediocrity will drag you down. Untouchability requires ruthless selection of allies. Keep those who sharpen you, who challenge you, who strengthen you. Remove those who weaken you, who drain you, who depend on you excessively. A kingdom collapses when surrounded by weak advisors. A man collapses when surrounded by weak companions. Choose strength always. To stop being weak, you must do what others will not. You must face reality without illusion. You must detach from comfort. Control your emotions, master deception, strike decisively, and guard your independence. Weakness is natural. Every man begins with it. But untouchability is forged. It is built through discipline, clarity, and ruthless strategy. The world does not forgive weakness. It devours it. If you wish to be more than prey, if you wish to be more than a victim, if you wish to rise above betrayal, above misfortune, above destruction, then listen to Machiavelli's warning. Stop being weak. Start being untouchable. Weakness is the natural state of men who refuse to see the truth. Untouchability is the rare achievement of those who embrace it. Machiavelli never wrote for the comfortable, the naive, or the sentimental. He wrote for those willing to face the world as it is, a battlefield of interests, a theater of masks, a contest of power. To stop being weak and start being untouchable, you must carry this vision into every corner of your life. The weak man defines himself by reaction. He waits for others to act, and then he responds. He waits for opportunities, and then he follows. He waits for approval, and then he obeys. This reactive life ensures permanent subordination. The untouchable man is proactive. He shapes events, creates opportunities, and imposes his will. Others react to him. His enemies dance to his rhythm. His allies follow his lead. He does not wait, he dictates. Another weakness lies in transparency. Weak men feel proud of showing themselves fully, of revealing their innermost thoughts, their plans, their emotions. But transparency is vulnerability, and vulnerability invites exploitation. Machiavelli advises rulers to be like foxes, cunning, unreadable, elusive. The untouchable man learns to conceal as much as he reveals. His words never show his entire hand. His actions hint but never expose. His silence speaks louder than confessions. In mystery lies safety. The untouchable also masters discipline of self. Weak men are slaves to impulse. They lash out in anger. They collapse in despair. They surrender to pleasure. They yield to fear. Each impulse betrays them, handing control to others. An untouchable man is not ruled by impulses, but rules them. He feels anger, but channels it strategically. He feels desire, but uses it without being consumed by it. He feels fear, but never lets it paralyze him. His discipline makes him untouchable, for no enemy can manipulate what he already controls. Machiavelli reminds us that men are ruled by appearances. Weakness often comes from believing substance alone is enough. You may be strong, but if you appear weak, others will test you. You may be capable, but if you appear uncertain, others will doubt you. The untouchable man understands the stage of life. He crafts appearances deliberately. He appears confident even when uncertain, strong even when vulnerable, ruthless even when hesitant. By controlling appearances, he controls perceptions, and perceptions are the reality of politics, business, and war. Another core principle of untouchability is control of resources. Weak men live at the mercy of others, dependent on their generosity, their money, their power. Dependency is weakness. The untouchable man builds his own base, wealth, knowledge, skills, networks that no one can easily take away. He diversifies his power sources so that no single failure destroys him. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on mercenaries. Likewise, you must never rely entirely on someone else for survival. Build independence at every level, and you will never be destroyed by another man's betrayal. Beware also the weakness of hope without preparation. Weak men place their futures in the hands of chance. They hope things improve. They hope opportunities come. They hope people remain loyal. Hope is not strategy. Hope is weakness disguised as optimism. The untouchable man does not hope. He prepares. He expects betrayal and plans for it. He expects hardship and trains for it. He expects war and stockpiles for it. When fortune turns, others drown in despair, while he remains afloat, prepared for the storm. Weak men cling to equality. They believe all men are brothers, all opinions equal, all paths valid. This illusion destroys them. Machiavelli makes clear, men are not equal in power, intelligence, or will. To treat everyone equally is to ignore reality. The untouchable man respects hierarchy, but ensures he is never at the bottom. He knows where he stands, climbs relentlessly, and refuses to let envy or fairness blind him. Weakness comes from pretending the world is just. Untouchability comes from using injustice to rise above it. Another essential principle, control of enemies. Weak men try to avoid enemies altogether, fearing conflict, but avoidance only multiplies enemies, for it shows fear. The untouchable man accepts that enemies are inevitable, even necessary. He does not eliminate all of them, for a man without enemies is forgotten. Instead, he manages enemies. He destroys some publicly to inspire fear. He spares others strategically to show mercy. He keeps a few alive as symbols of his strength. Enemies are useful. They define you, sharpen you, and remind you never to be complacent. Weakness often reveals itself in overtrust. Trust is the luxury of the naive. To trust blindly is to hand over your fate. The untouchable man trusts sparingly, conditionally, and strategically. He may give tasks, but never full control. He may rely on allies, but never without safeguards. He knows that betrayal is always one step away, and so he builds systems where betrayal cannot destroy him. Machiavelli's warning echoes here. Men will betray when it serves them, so build power that survives betrayal. Another great weakness is being predictable in kindness. Weak men are generous to all, kind to all, forgiving to all. But endless kindness cheapens itself. It becomes expected, not valued. It invites exploitation. The untouchable man is selective with kindness. He rewards loyalty, punishes betrayal, forgives when useful, and withholds generosity when it weakens him. His kindness is rare and therefore precious. His cruelty is rare and therefore feared. Both are weapons, not compulsions. Machiavelli often emphasized the necessity of fear. Weak men wish to be loved. Strong men wish to be feared. The untouchable man chooses both, but if forced to decide, he chooses fear. For love fades with convenience, but fear endures even in betrayal. Fear protects more effectively than affection. If you wish to be untouchable, you must accept that being loved by all is impossible, but being feared by all is achievable, and it is protection against the fickleness of human hearts. Finally, weakness lies in living without a legacy. Weak men exist, consume, and vanish. Their names are forgotten, their lives wasted. The untouchable man lives with vision. He seeks not only survival, but domination. Not only success, but permanence. He builds a reputation that lingers after death, a name that survives centuries, an influence that outlasts his body. Untouchability is not merely surviving the present. It is carving your mark into history so deeply that even time cannot erase it. So listen to Machiavelli's warning. Stop being weak. Stop craving approval. Stop waiting for fairness. Stop clinging to illusions. Stop giving away your power. Start building armor in your mind, your resources, your reputation. Start controlling appearances, emotions, and alliances. Start embracing ruthlessness when necessary, deception when useful, detachment when vital. Start living as though every day is a battlefield, where only the untouchable endure. Weakness is death, untouchability is life. Between the two, the choice is yours.